This is Sergio from Overtime Heroics. I am joined today by UFC lightweight Drakkar Klose. Drakkar, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Could be a lot better, but it is what it is.
Yeah, obviously not the ideal weekend for you. A lot of stuff happened, not just over the weekend, but the week before too. So we'll start with that, I guess. So talk a little bit about the opponent switch. You were originally supposed to fight Jai Herbert. He pulled out for undisclosed reasons, and then you got Luis Pena. So kind of talk about that and the thoughts on the opponent switch. If it ever crossed your mind to maybe not accept the fight.
Um, you know, uh, I think that was a good matchup. A good switch. I think Herbert's a lot tougher than Pena. Um, but it is what it is. They're both tall, lanky. I think Pena's a little bit taller, just a southpaw. But I think that would have been an easy win for me if the fight would have went through.
And that leads us to the second, well, not even opponent switch, the second pullout. This unfortunately was not on your end, but it was on your side. Kind of talk about the news and how you got the news that the fight was off.
Um, we all took our COVID tests Friday. Then we quarantined. And then Saturday morning, uh, my striking coach called me and said that he tested positive for COVID. So I thought they still were gonna let me fight because everyone else was negative, but I guess they said contact tracing. So they're just following the CDC guidelines and then which is crazy because as soon as we all got back, we all tested again and everyone came back negative. So it's like, what is it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, obviously a lot of frustration there. What was your initial reaction? I mean, I'm sure you were frustrated and angry, but which emotion first hit you? Was it the anger? Was it sadness? What hit you first?
um I really wasn't mad because you can't control stuff like this. And then I start thinking like, man, I missed out on 80 grand. So but hopefully the UFC compensate me for, showing up and trying to do my job and but we'll see.
One of the main stories of the fight was all the people who missed weight, and I mean the fact that you made weight, you showed up. Um, Kind of talk a little bit about your thoughts on people pulling out. I mean, it's got to be frustrating as someone who's there to show up. Something like that happens, and then people are being unprofessional and not making weight.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how that guy came in with 11 and a half pounds over. Like you should have pulled out 3 weeks. He knew he wasn't gonna make weight. He shouldn't have even stepped on the scale. Then the other people are just unprofessional. You know what I mean? I had to cut 17 pounds fight week. You can do it, man. And like it's possible. I started my camp at 207 and I got to 156. That's 51 pounds total.
Yeah,
So
that's ridiculous. Obviously, because you have such a huge weight cut, I'm sure ideally you want the fight back right away, but logistically that's probably not realistic with the weight cut. Is that fight something that you're interested in, and if so, what sort of timeline would be acceptable for you given the extent that you have to cut weight?
yeah, I would love to fight him or even my original opponent. April. I just need a couple weeks just to let my body just get back to its normal and just once you peak, you can't. It's hard to peak a week later. You know what I mean? So just let myself just recover a little bit. I'm gonna go train tonight. Nothing too crazy, and just get my weight back down.
A lot has been said, I guess, before your fight too about your future. I mean, obviously, you were propelling upward, and last fight didn't go your way. You had a lot of good moments in that fight, and you're seeing his success. So for you, what does your future entail? Obviously, you want to get back in there, but long term, what do you want for your future?
You know, I just want to, just try to make as much money as I can. I don't want to do this for too much longer. These weight cuts do take a toll on our bodies, and I just want to just make as much money as I can and invest it in something so I can, keep money, coming in.
It's got to be a lot different too, because you aren't the only one in the house that does weight cuts, that trains, and that fights. Is it different that it's two people? Like when you're prepping for your own fight camp, someone else is making sacrifices, and vice versa. It's like you're almost twice as active in terms of cutting weight and being on point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Courtney, I'm glad that she's been able to fight because I haven't fought in a year, and if she wasn't fighting, I don't know where we would be. You know what I mean? Because we don't have jobs. Fighting is our job. So I'm just glad she's able to fight. She has a fight coming up in a couple weeks. Um, just try to make as much money as we can and just keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's got to be very difficult. Not only the financial aspect, but also like the mental aspect. I mean, when she's got a fight camp, you're in fight camp mode. Like, you have to make the sacrifices. I've never really asked a couple that, two people who are making the same sacrifices, kind of talk a little bit about that and the sacrifices that you both make for one another.
Yeah, she makes a lot of sacrifices for me, like especially when I'm in camp. She makes sure all my meals are made. She tries to make everything as easy as possible. And then when it's her time to fight, I try to do the exact same for her. But she doesn't like it when I cook for her, so I might be a bad cook.
I can relate. I'm terrible at cooking, especially if I have to cook healthy or clean. It's like I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
I want to talk
so I
about.
don't know. I think we're a good team, when it comes to that, So
I want to talk about your last fight, because I mean, it had to be heartbreaking, and I mean, obviously the headlines that came with it. Talk a little bit about how you kind of deal with that. And it's not that people were negative or beating on you for that fight, but knowing that could have been you. How do you handle that mentally?
I never think about like it could have been me. You know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason, and I really think I got stronger because of that. You know what I mean? And um, Benil is probably the only fighter that I respect. Like after fighting, you know what I mean? He's really a nice guy, and I took a lot from that, and I know it would have showed in the fight over the weekend if I was able to fight. And I know he's just a good dude, and everything happens. That was his path. You know what I mean? Like, now he's on the big and better things, and now I got to do what I got to do. To hopefully get that rematch one day.
Yeah, I mean, he's to see his rise. I think when someone rises like that, even though he defeated you, it's almost like, you know what, like that could have been me, and I was that close. So it's got to be a little bit of a morale boost. Like it's not like you lost to a guy that's not ranked. You lost to one of the best in the world, and you almost beat him.
Yeah, yeah. Like if I was to fight him again, I'm 100% positive I would win. You know what I mean? But he's a good dude. Hopefully, he keeps winning. I keep winning, and then we can have $1 million fight.
I love it. I love that. I have to ask about a couple of big fights coming up. The big one is obviously the main event in a couple weeks. I couldn't go without asking you your prediction on that fight. I'm excited for it. Anytime two champions fight, it's always fireworks. So Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. What's your take on that fight?
Oh man, I think Izzy's gonna be able to. I think he's gonna be able to beat him. You know what I mean? Uh, what's how do you pronounce his name? The bigger guy.
Blachowicz. Blachowicz.
The whole I can't even say his name, but I think he's gonna be a little bit slower. You know what I mean? I think I see Izzy either knockout. I think he's gonna knock him out.
I love it. That's how I have it too.
Definitely not gonna go to distance.
Yeah, yeah, I have it the exact same way. And I'll ask you a couple more questions, and then we'll call it here. So, obviously, the Luis Pena fight was this close to coming. If if all things go the way you want, is that the fight you want next, or are you just kind of open to whoever?
I'm open to whoever. You know what I mean? That was definitely gonna be an easy fight. I believe. You know what I mean? He's too skinny. His body. Just break him down. He might be taller than me, but at the end he was gonna be looking up to me. So But whoever they give me.
And then the last one. Obviously, you're back home now. How much have you eaten? Like the first thing I would do when I got home is just eat as much as I could.
I be honest, like this morning I woke up 184, which is crazy. Like all I've really been doing is just drinking Pedialytes, just staying hydrated. I had one slice of pizza, and then Courtney made me some tacos last night, but I don't know. I just I gained that weight real quick. But no, not eating too much.
What's the go-to afterwards? Whether you win or lose, what do you usually celebrate with in terms of food?
Okay, I was gonna say a beer. No, no. Yes, it was a Costco pizza, a slice of Costco pizza. It was pretty bomb.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for the time. It's always nice to catch up. I know we talk a lot through DMs and stuff, but we don't talk a whole lot face to face. So I appreciate it. And whatever's next, I can't wait to see you back out there. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later, and hopefully, you get your hand raised and pick up some cash.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.